What if I told you a damaged, ugly Jefferson nickel from your pocket change could be hiding a story worth life-changing money? In this video, we're diving into the most valuable state and Monticello Jefferson nickels, including bad condition coins, rare errors, and the shocking examples that have made collectors pay insane prices. Check your change, because this one might surprise you. First up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel, dated 2000, with the D mint mark. Even when found in bad, heavily worn, damaged, or circulated condition, represents a deeply layered story of American coinage, everyday economic life, mass production, and the reality of modern numismatics. Because this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the United States, during a year that symbolized the transition into a new millennium, a time when billions of coins were being produced to meet the needs of commerce, vending machines, transportation systems, retail transactions, and daily consumer exchanges across the country. And as a result, the 2000 D Jefferson nickel was minted in very large quantities, making it extremely common, especially in worn condition, yet historically significant, as part of the final stretch of the long-running Monticello reverse design that had been used continuously since 1938. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, philosopher, architect, statesman, and author of the Declaration of Independence, and on badly worn examples, the fine facial details such as Jefferson's hair texture, cheekbone definition, eye contours, jawline, and collar lines are usually smoothed down by years of circulation, sometimes appearing almost flat, ghost-like, or merged into the surrounding metal surface, while inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2000 may be weak, partially missing, or blended into the field due to friction, abrasion, and metal loss. The reverse design shows Monticello, Jefferson's famous home in Virginia, chosen to symbolize intellect, democracy, and classical architecture. But in poor condition, the building's roof lines, columns, windows, and especially the steps of Monticello, which are critical for grading, are often completely worn away, leaving only a faint outline of the structure. And this instantly places the coin into a low grading category, such as about good, AG, good, G, or fair, where the major devices are identifiable but lack sharpness or depth. The coin's composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel gives it durability, but also causes a dull gray or darkened appearance after years of exposure to oils, dirt, moisture, and environmental contaminants. And badly conditioned coins often show scratches, rim dents, discoloration, corrosion spots, edge nicks, and sometimes even bending or warping, especially if the coin has been mistreated, run over, or exposed to harsh conditions. Despite these flaws, such coins are authentic examples of how American money circulates through society, passing through millions of hands, pockets, tills, and machines, accumulating wear that tells a story of movement and use rather than preservation. From a collector's standpoint, a badly worn 2000 D Jefferson nickel has no premium value, meaning it is usually worth only face value of 5 cents, because its massive mintage and poor condition eliminate rarity and desirability. And this fact is an important educational lesson for new collectors who often assume that age or wear automatically increases value, when in reality, the opposite is often true for modern coins. However, these coins still hold educational, historical, and instructional value, especially for teaching coin grading, circulation patterns, metal durability, mint production scale, and the difference between collectible and non-collectible coinage. The year 2000 also holds significance because it falls just before the Westward Journey nickel series, 2004-2005, which temporarily replaced the Monticello reverse, making the 2000 D nickel part of the last regular issue Monticello nickels before that design interruption. And this transitional context gives the coin a place in the broader timeline of U.S. mint design evolution. In bad condition, the coin may also be examined for mint errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, lamination flaws, or clipped planchets. And although such errors are rare, they can occasionally be found even on heavily worn coins, adding unexpected interest or value. Culturally, the 2000 D Jefferson nickel symbolizes everyday America at the turn of the millennium, a time of technological change, Y2K fears, economic globalization, and shifting consumer habits. And this coin quietly participated in that era by facilitating small purchases, exact change transactions, parking meters, public transport fares, and vending machine sales. While collectors seeking high value will overlook a bad condition example, historians, educators, and beginner numismatists can still appreciate it as a real-world artifact, demonstrating how coins are used, abused, and ultimately retired from circulation. In conclusion, the Monticello Jefferson Nickel 2000D, mint mark in bad condition, is not rare, not valuable in monetary terms, and not sought after in the high-end numismatic market. Yet it remains a genuine, tangible piece of modern American history, embodying mass production, democratic currency, daily human interaction, and the passage of time, proving that even the most common and worn coins carry stories shaped by millions of small moments across decades of circulation. Next up, the 1974 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, commonly referred to as the Philadelphia Mint issue, even when found in bad, worn, damaged, or heavily circulated condition, represents a fascinating and realistic example of modern American coinage, everyday monetary use, and mass production during the mid-1970s, a period marked by economic uncertainty, inflation, changing metal prices, and shifting public trust in currency. Because coins like this were produced not as collectibles, but as tools for daily commerce. And the absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which historically did not use mint marks on most coins until later years, making no mint mark normal rather than rare for this issue. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, portrayed facing left in the long-running design created by Felix Schlag, and on badly worn examples, the fine details of Jefferson's hair, eye, cheek, jawline, and coat are often nearly erased by decades of circulation, leaving a smooth, flattened portrait where only the basic outline remains visible, while inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1974 may appear weak, faded, partially missing, or blended into the background due to metal loss from friction, abrasion, and repeated handling. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, a symbol of intellect, classical design, and American democracy. But on coins in poor condition, the architectural details, columns, windows, rooflines, and especially the steps of Monticello are usually completely worn smooth, which immediately places the coin into low-grading categories such as about good AG, good G, fair, or even poor, where the design is identifiable but lacks sharpness, depth, or detail. Composition-wise, the 1974 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy that allowed the coin to survive years of heavy use in vending machines, transit systems, grocery stores, gas stations, and pocket change across the United States. And this durability explains why so many examples still exist today, despite extensive wear. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels in 1974, meaning the coin is extremely common in circulated condition. And because of this massive mintage, a badly worn 1974 no mint mark nickel generally holds no premium value, usually worth only 5 cents, unless it shows an unusual and verifiable mint error, such as a dramatic off-center strike, clipped planchet, lamination error, major die crack, or other manufacturing anomaly that escaped quality control. Coins in bad condition often show additional damage beyond normal wear, including scratches, rim dents, dark toning, corrosion spots, environmental staining, or discoloration caused by moisture, dirt, chemicals, or long-term exposure to harsh conditions, all of which further reduce collector desirability but increase the coin's usefulness as a real-world example of circulation wear. From a numismatic education perspective, the 1974 Jefferson nickel in poor condition is extremely valuable as a teaching tool, helping beginners understand grading standards, the difference between wear and damage, the importance of mintage numbers, and the reality that age alone does not make a coin valuable. Historically, this coin reflects the economic atmosphere of the 1970s, when rising inflation and metal prices caused public concern about the intrinsic value of coinage. even though the nickel alloy remained unchanged, and millions of these coins quietly circulated during a decade of cultural, political, and economic transition in America. Collectors often keep bad condition examples as placeholders in albums, bulk lots for error searching, or comparison pieces when learning to grade higher quality coins. And despite its low market value, the coin remains a tangible connection to everyday life in the 1970s, passing through countless hands during ordinary transactions. In conclusion, the 1974 Jefferson nickel, with no mint mark in bad condition, is not rare, not valuable in high-grade numismatic terms, and not sought after by advanced collectors. Yet it stands as a genuine artifact of American monetary history, embodying mass production, daily circulation, economic reality, and the passage of time, proving that even the most common and worn coins carry stories shaped by decades of use, movement, and human interaction. Next up, the Monticello Jefferson nickel, dated 1946, with no mint mark, produced by the Philadelphia Mint. Even when found in bad, heavily worn, damaged, or poor condition, occupies a uniquely important position in United States numismatic history, because the year 1946 represents a major turning point in American coinage, marking the first return to normal copper-nickel composition after World War II, ending the emergency wartime silver alloy nickels that were struck from 1942 through 1945. And this transition alone gives the 1946 Jefferson nickel lasting historical significance regardless of its physical condition, because it symbolizes America's shift from wartime sacrifice back to peacetime stability, industrial recovery, and economic normalization. The lack of a mint mark on this coin is entirely correct and indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint, as Philadelphia did not place mint marks on nickels at that time, and many people mistakenly believe a missing mint mark automatically creates rarity or error status. But for the 1946 nickel, this absence is standard and expected. The obverse design features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence, diplomat, philosopher, and architect, portrayed facing left in the iconic Felix Schlag design, first introduced in 1938, and on badly circulated examples, Jefferson's facial details are often dramatically worn, with the hair strands smoothed into a flat surface, the eye reduced to a faint shadow or completely gone, the cheek and jawline rounded and featureless, and the collar and coat lines nearly erased by decades of friction, while inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1946 may appear weak, incomplete, or partially merged into the surrounding metal due to prolonged circulation wear and metal loss. The reverse of the coin depicts Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, and a powerful symbol of American intellect, democracy, and classical architectural ideals. Yet on coins in poor condition, the intricate details of Monticello, its columns, windows, roof structure, and especially the steps, which are critical for grading, are almost always completely worn smooth, flattened into a vague outline that immediately places the coin into low grading categories such as about good, AG, good, G, fair, or poor, where the design is identifiable but lacks sharpness, clarity, or depth. Composition-wise, the 1946 Jefferson nickel is made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, restoring the traditional alloy used before wartime shortages forced the mint to conserve nickel for military use, and this return to the standard composition is one of the most historically important aspects of the 1946 issue, even though it does not create rarity in circulated grades. Coins in bad condition often display additional damage beyond simple wear, including scratches from contact with other coins, rim dents from impacts, edge nicks, dark or uneven toning, corrosion spots from moisture exposure, stains from chemicals or soil, and sometimes even slight bending or warping, all of which further reduce collector desirability, but increase the coin's authenticity as a real-world circulation survivor. The Philadelphia Mint struck tens of millions of Jefferson nickels in 1946, ensuring widespread availability for commerce during the post-war economic boom, and because of this large mintage, combined with more than 7 decades of circulation, Worn examples are extremely common today, making a badly conditioned 1946 no mint mark nickel generally worth only face value, unless it shows a dramatic and verifiable mint error such as a major off-center strike, clipped planchet, lamination flaw, or large die crack that escaped mint quality control. Despite its low monetary value and worn condition, this coin holds significant educational and historical importance, serving as a perfect teaching example for beginner collectors learning about grading, composition changes, mint mark practices, wartime versus peacetime coinage, and the crucial lesson that age alone does not determine a coin's value. Historically, the 1946 Jefferson nickel circulated during a transformative era in American life, passing through hands during the early Cold War period, post-war industrial expansion, suburban growth, and shifting consumer culture, quietly facilitating everyday transactions such as groceries, transportation fares, newspapers, and small retail purchases, making it a silent witness to daily life in mid-20th century America. Collectors today often keep bad condition examples as album placeholders, reference pieces for studying early Jefferson nickel wear patterns, bulk coins for error searching, or historical artifacts rather than investments. Because even the most worn coins can help tell the broader story of U.S. coinage and economic history. In conclusion, the 1946 Monticello Jefferson nickel with no mint mark in bad condition is not rare, not highly valuable in its worn state, and not sought after by advanced collectors for profit. Yet it remains a deeply meaningful and historically important artifact that represents the end of wartime coinage, the return to traditional metal composition, mass production for a recovering nation, and the enduring reality that even the most common and heavily worn coins carry powerful stories shaped by time, use, and national history. The Monticello Jefferson nickel, dated 1985 with the P mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, even when found in bad, heavily worn, damaged, or poor condition, represents a very realistic and educational example of late 20th century American coinage, because by 1985, the Jefferson nickel had already been in continuous production for nearly half a century, serving as one of the most familiar and widely used coins in everyday commerce across the United States. And the presence of the P mint mark is historically significant in itself, since Philadelphia only began using the P mint mark on most coins starting in 1980, making 1985 part of the early period when Americans were still getting used to seeing a mint mark on Philadelphia coinage. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence and a central figure in American history, portrayed facing left in the long-running Felix Schlag design introduced in 1938, and on badly circulated examples, the portrait often appears flat and heavily smoothed, with Jefferson's hair details worn into indistinct shapes, the eye and cheek nearly erased, the jawline rounded, and the collar and coat lines faint or missing entirely, while inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1985 may be weak, partially worn away, or blended into the coin's field due to decades of friction from pockets, purses, vending machines, and constant handling. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia and a long-standing symbol of American intellect and classical ideals. But on coins in bad condition, the architectural details of Monticello, columns, windows, roof lines, and especially the steps, which are critical to grading, are usually completely worn smooth, flattened into a simple outline that places the coin into low grading categories such as about good, AG, good, G, fair, or poor, where the main design is still recognizable but lacks sharp detail. The 1985 P. Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy that had been standard for decades, allowing the coin to survive heavy circulation, though this same durability means that millions of worn examples still exist today. During 1985, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels, ensuring an abundant supply for everyday transactions. And because of this massive mintage combined with its poor condition, a badly worn 1985 P nickel generally carries no collector premium and is typically worth face value of 5 cents, unless it shows a significant and verifiable mint error, such as a dramatic off-center strike, clipped planchet, lamination flaw, major die crack, or other unusual manufacturing defect. Coins in bad condition often exhibit additional issues, such as scratches from contact with other coins, rim dents, edge nicks, dark or uneven toning, corrosion spots from environmental exposure, stains from chemicals or moisture, and sometimes even minor bending, all of which further reduce market desirability but increase the coin's usefulness as a real-world example of circulation wear. From an educational standpoint, the 1985 P. Jefferson nickel in poor condition is highly valuable for teaching beginners about coin grading, mint mark history, the effects of long-term circulation, and the difference between common coins and true rarities. Historically, this coin circulated during the mid-1980s, a time of economic change, technological growth, and shifting consumer habits in the United States, passing through countless hands during everyday purchases such as groceries, gas, public transportation, and vending machines, making it a quiet witness to ordinary American life in that era. Collectors often keep bad condition examples as placeholders in albums, reference pieces for studying wear patterns on Jefferson nickels, or bulk coins for error searching, because even heavily worn coins can occasionally reveal interesting minting anomalies when examined closely. In conclusion, the 1985 P. Monticello Jefferson nickel in bad condition is not rare, not valuable in monetary terms beyond its face value, and not sought after by advanced collectors for profit. Yet it remains a genuine and meaningful artifact of modern American coinage, reflecting mass production, everyday use, mint mark evolution at the Philadelphia Mint, and the enduring reality that even the most common and worn coins carry stories shaped by time, use, and history. The Monticello Jefferson nickel, dated 1954, with no mint mark, produced by the Philadelphia Mint, even when found in bad, heavily worn, damaged, or poor condition, represents an important, yet often misunderstood chapter in mid-20th century American coinage, because the year 1954 falls squarely within the early Cold War era, a time of economic expansion, industrial growth, and heavy reliance on coinage for everyday commerce, meaning coins like this were struck in enormous quantities, not for collectors, but for daily use across the nation. And the absence of a mint mark is completely normal for Philadelphia issues of this period, rather than an indication of rarity or error. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, author of the Declaration of Independence, and a key figure in American political philosophy, shown facing left in the long-standing Felix Schlag design introduced in 1938. And on badly circulated examples, the portrait is usually extremely worn, with Jefferson's hair strands smoothed into a flat surface, facial features such as the eye, cheek, and jawline softened or nearly erased, and the collar and coat lines faint or missing entirely, while inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1954 may appear weak, partially worn away, or blended into the surrounding metal due to decades of friction and handling. The reverse of the coin displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate, and a symbol of intellect, democracy, and classical architecture. Yet on coins in poor condition, the building's architectural details, columns, windows, roof lines, and especially the steps of Monticello, are almost always completely worn smooth, leaving only a basic outline that places the coin into low grading categories such as about good, AG, good, G, fair, or poor, where the design remains identifiable but lacks sharpness or depth. The 1954 Jefferson nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, the standard post-war alloy restored in 1946 after the wartime silver alloy nickels. And this durable composition allowed the coin to survive decades of heavy circulation in vending machines, buses, subways, grocery stores, and countless everyday transactions. During 1954, the Philadelphia Mint struck tens of millions of Jefferson nickels, ensuring a plentiful supply for a growing post-war economy. And because of this high mintage combined with extensive circulation, a badly worn 1954 no mint mark nickel typically carries little to no collector premium, often valued at or very close to face value, unless it exhibits a major and verifiable mint error such as a significant off-center strike, clipped planchet, lamination flaw, or large die crack that escaped mint quality control. Coins in bad condition often show additional issues beyond normal wear, including scratches, rim dents, edge nicks, dark or uneven toning, corrosion spots from moisture exposure, stains from chemicals or soil, and sometimes even slight bending, all of which further reduce market desirability, but increase the coin's usefulness as a real-world example of long-term circulation wear. From an educational perspective, the 1954 Jefferson nickel in poor condition is extremely valuable for teaching beginners about coin grading, mint mark practices, the effects of circulation, and the reality that age alone does not make a coin valuable. Historically, this coin circulated during a period of American optimism and economic growth, passing through hands during everyday purchases such as groceries, newspapers, transportation fares, and small retail transactions, quietly participating in the daily life of mid-1950s America. Collectors today often keep bad condition examples as placeholders in albums, reference pieces for studying early Jefferson nickel wear patterns, or bulk coins for error searching, because even low-grade coins can sometimes reveal interesting minting anomalies under close examination. In conclusion, the 1954 Monticello Jefferson nickel with no mint mark in bad condition is not rare, not highly valuable in monetary terms, and not sought after by advanced collectors for profit. Yet it remains a genuine and historically meaningful artifact of American coinage, symbolizing post-war stability, mass production for everyday commerce, and the enduring truth that even the most worn and common coins carry stories shaped by time, use, and history. Please like and subscribe to my channel.